G'day, welcome to Pay It Forward. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this little scrapbooking hot air balloon. This is a fantastic project for children's parties, perhaps a mobile for a baby's room. If you would like to make this one along with me, simply click on the link in the description below. You'll be able to download your free pattern templates and we can get started. So first of all, let me show you a few things you'll need before we start. First up, you'll need to cut 10 of the little balloon top pieces from a folded piece of card. I'll show you the way that I do that. This is your template that you would have downloaded, and I folded my piece of card already, and I just pop that one along the crease, trace around it with your fine marker, and then cut that one out. And you can see that we need those to be folded for construction anyway, so that just saves us a job. So you need to cut out 10 in any kind of coordinating. You can use prints or planes, whatever you like. I'm using planes today, obviously. So 10 of those, and then our next piece is our basket piece. Now I've already glued on my two little hearts there. They're just cut out of just a contrasting card, and I've just cut that out very carefully, and we'll construct that one. You'll also need a length of braided cord or something like that, any kind of twine to hang from the top of your little balloon. You'll need 4 lengths of, I'm using a cotton twine here. We're going to be trimming that to size, so just 4 decent lengths of that one. You'll also need some a glue stick I'm using, some sharp scissors obviously, double-sided tape for putting together our little basket, and a standard hole punch, and also something like an awl, or perhaps you have a little tiny hole punch. Anything like that, a little knitting needle will be fine to make those little holes for this twine to pass through. Also, I find that having a ruler on hand is good because it helps us with the folding. So, first up, we need to, as I already have here, glue on with our glue stick our 2 little hearts. I've designed it this way so that when we put our little holes in there with our hole punch, it's a much stronger holding surface there. So now that our little heart sections are a little bit dry there, I've been able to punch with my hole punch, just a standard hole punch there. You can see the top of each. Just popped a little hole through there. Now our next step is to fold up our little basket template. You'll be able to see that there's some very clear folding marks. I just find that if you use a ruler, and you can fold from edge to edge. So we fold in the bottom side flaps, either side. You can see there, lay them flat again. Also, you can see this fold here, up to its point there, on all 4 sides. You can see that I've done those. And then the final folds are just across, and we fold those 2 ends up. So we've ended up with a nice little 3D little basket. Now here's where I use my double-sided tape, because we're going to be folding in our little flaps like this. You could use glue of course, but I just find that the tape is quicker, it's less messy, and it's quite invisible. So you can do one at a time, and it's just a matter of just adding your tape to each of your side pieces there. And we want this basket to have a little slant outwards, so we're not going to situate that straight, we're actually going to press that down on just a tiny little bit of an angle there. If you do it one side at a time, you'll find you'll be able to then match up on the opposite side your little basket there. So take all of those 4. There's our little basket. all nicely taped together, and that's quite strong there. At this stage, if you wanted to embellish this in any way, now would be the time to do that. You could add any kind of little decoration there. You could also add some little, make some little rolled ropes perhaps to hot glue on the side, some buttons, jewels, anything that you like, depending on what you're using it for. But from here, we're just going to now add our little holding strings. So we just take our length of twine there, fold it in the middle, and we go through the front of the heart first on each hole, open up that loop and take those two ends through. That will give us a nice little anchor point. We do that with each piece on each hole. So that's our little basket all set up and ready to go. We can pop that one aside now while we make our actual balloon top. This process is pretty simple because you've already got your folded pieces. We're just going to add our a nice generous amount of glue stick to just one of those sides on that fold. Make sure we get right up into the corners and the edges, and then we just add our subsequent pieces, line them up on the fold, make sure that they're really pressed down and sealed well. Because of the way that it's made, it's really easy to keep them all together and line them all up. So you'll just continue to add piece by piece until you've got a little stack of all of your 10 balloon pieces. So that's our finished stack. You can see there, they're all glued, and I've just had those popped in between a press for just for a little while, just something heavy to keep them all together while that dries for a little while. Our next step is to open that one out, and you can see how your little balloon is going to look. All those all out. So obviously we're going to glue those last two together to create that finished circle. Before we do that though, I'm going to add our little center string to hang that one. So depending on what you're using this for, I'm really making this one up just as like a little party favour. So I don't need it to be really strong or permanent, so I'm just going to add this little bit with some hot glue there, so right down the centre there, and you can have that hanging piece as long as you like, depending on where you're going to be hanging that one from. So I'm just going to pop that one in there, and that's going to be nicely hidden and secure for when we close up our final two. Just let that one dry for a moment. Once that hot glue is dried, you can see that one's holding there nicely. I can do my final, glue those two edges together, and that will complete our little balloon circle. And it's just a matter of clamping that one closed, pressing it down again, and I will pop that one under something heavy for a while, just while all those layers dry. So there you can see I've glued those final two pieces together, and we have our little segmented balloon there. So once that's all done, flip that one over, and if you have a look at the base there, you'll be able to see that I have made a hole just with my awl, ready to pass my little strings through, but I've made only 4 holes to match up. You can see that I have left 2 and made the hole in these 2, and then I have 2 and the same on the other side. So you can see I've got 2 segments here, then these 2 have holes, I have 2 segments here, these 2 have holes, and then 2 segments here. So just make a little hole through there on each of those. Now, so you can see that our next step, now that our little holes have been made, it's just a matter of taking those little thread ends, taking them through the little hole and knotting that little one off so that it won't pull through. Depending on the size of your hole and the size of your thread, you may wish to add a little drop or 2 of hot glue there to hold that knot in place, but there's very little weight going in this one, so that won't really matter. But if you're going to fill that little one with some little treats or so on, you may want to just add that little bit of glue just for reinforcement. So the distance between the top of the heart to here is about 6 centimetres. I find looks about the right proportion. So you can go around and add each little string. Just make sure as you go that you're keeping them all to the same length. So there we have a little hot air balloon, all rigged up nicely with its little ropes. I've just popped a little bit of weight in there. If you had little party favours or lollies in there, that would hold that nicely. Perhaps you could make it as a mobile for a child's room, brightly coloured as I have, or perhaps for a little girl's room, some lovely shabby rose prints would be nice. You could also substitute that little folded box for a little purchased little wicker basket, which you could attach in the same way, and you could make that quite a permanent little home decor product. But I think they're lovely. Well, I hope you've enjoyed making this one along with me today. It really is a fun and colourful project, and one that could be really useful for your kids' party, so I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, you could give this video a thumbs up, that would be beaut. In the meantime, remember to subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming scrapbooking projects I have coming up. Most of all, of course, remember to pay it forward, because everybody can, and until our next project together, it's hooroo from me.